Sorry, I have to stay here. So, again, this was meant to happen. You were supposed to cross paths. You were supposed to say whatever it is you said. If it was one thing or several things, whatever it was, is the start of their ego death, the start of their healing journey. So you didn't do anything wrong. You did it exactly right. But whatever you said literally tore them up. It's like knocked them down, making them have to actually face. I don't know how to express this. They've spent their whole life pretending to be a certain way. And it's almost like, when you portray yourself as a certain thing all day, every day, you start to believe that's who you are, right? And now they have to face like, oh, I didn't have the success I pretend to have. I don't have the education I pretend to have. Like, they're actually having to face that now. And something about like lack of boundaries, which for this sort of personality is common. You taught them about boundaries. They had a lack of boundaries. How can I say this? And making them see that they have nothing to... They're showing it like harvest. You know how if you have like if you're growing things in the yard or something, like they have nothing, they've planted no seeds, they have nothing to harvest because all they've done is pretend. If you want to be intelligent, you have to actually get an education. You have to plant the seeds. If you want to be successful, you have to work at whatever it is you want to be successful. And they've just pretended the whole time. They haven't actually planted any seeds. There's something about them realizing they have nothing to harvest because of what you said. I'm hearing all bark, no bite. All bark, no bite. Ooh, they are heated, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it's just washing over like they're heated. Nobody has ever made them come face to face with themselves before. Everybody, like I said, just went along with it or just didn't care enough to be contradictory. They just let them spew his stuff, but they are heated. It's this thing like you said something, like, again, it like ripped their ego apart and they can't let it go. And every day it's like I have to face something new about myself, which, on the outside we think, how do you not know this about yourself? But people don't. If you are performative, you start believing the performance. I just see them like getting up in the middle of the night, like sweating, can't breathe. But they're like pinning it on you, like it's your fault. You have made me have to face these things, like, ugh. Something that you said really pressed a button for this person. You said something or wrote something or expressed a boundary or like something that really triggered this person and was meant to. The message is you are not responsible for this person. You did what you were sent in to do. We can't regulate other people. This person's learning. But they, again, they feel like it's you. You did it. You deceived them. You injured them. You said something mean when you were just sort of like, this is how this is. And they're like, oh, you said this horrible thing. And you are being turned into, it's Darvo, typical Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse victim offender. You're the villain. They're the victim. So, of course, just know that they have been talking about you. So, I don't like this feeling, but they need to go through it. They had to. Their ego was just ridiculously out of control. You're an ego Saleya. Good for you, because that's what I do too. Not intentionally, we just by living, just by talking. Oh, hold on a second. This feels icky. Okay, for some people, this may be someone who, like I said, the role they had temporarily meant you sort of had to deal with them, right? Like I said, it was a boss or landlord or a next door neighbor. Like, you weren't inviting them into your life, but because of the role, They were a part of your life. Do you know what I mean? It had to be that way, or you could have just ignored them. They had to be just enough in your life where it would be annoying enough for you to speak up. Does that make sense? But this person, I feel like unbeknownst to you, was romantically interested in you. And this is why it's hitting them even harder, because they feel, like I said, no one had ever stood up to them before or spoke truth to them before, and they were interested in you. So now they feel like doubly rejected. Does that make sense? I'm not feeling like I gotta give you a warning, this person's out to get you, but they are obsessively thinking about you. And if we've talked at all, I'm sure we've talked about how when someone is obsessively thinking about you, like, it is tapping into your energy and you can feel that. So I would suggest, at a minimum, let's do a clearing if you know who this person is, because you've got to protect yourself. At least do the clearing we do at the very beginning of the video. At least do that, because this person is obsessively thinking about it, and it's not your fault. You did nothing wrong. This is just how the ego goes when you're trying to shatter an ego. They scramble and hold on for dear life and try to make it everybody's fault and yada yada. So, but anyway, you said something, posted something very direct, very there's no way of them trying to convince themselves they were wrong about something, or that you stood up about something that they believed, you know. My God. Go away. Cannot let this go. Cannot let this go. This must be like older, like my age, because it's like a whole lifetime of putting on a certain performance and you just blew it all apart. Because you see things, you can see through things, like you're intuitive. You read this person. You didn't just fall for the facade. You saw through. Very easily is the problem. Like, you're an empath, right? So you feel the stuff. You can put on the performance, but I can feel the truth. So it's like obsessive. Oh my gosh. This just all got wrapped up in a little bow. Let me say this. So I think I even said it in last week's Sunday service that, like, my guys are being very Mr. Miyagi lately. Very like, here's a message. Here's another message. Oh, look how these messages fit together. Ta-da! We taught you something. That's what they just did. So we're going through this. Whoever this person is, this ego death. And then they started saying, like, stuck in a loop. Like, this is something you've done repeatedly. This would be like if you're somebody that, I've been getting this a lot lately too. People that, like, tend to move quite a bit, whether that's moving where you live, moving where you work, just shifting environments frequently for the last few years or your whole life, whatever. And what they're saying is you've had to do this repeatedly. You've been removed from where you are, put somewhere else. You have to cross paths with somebody that's in this kind of ego thing. You're intuitive, you're an empath, you see through it, you're matter-of-factly, and they feel exposed because you can see through this facade that everybody else falls for. And so they showed it like this was a repetitive cycle for you. So you'd have to expose somebody, not intentionally. You don't go in like, I'm going to expose you. Like, they say something that is not factual and you state the fact, you know, and then you move on, and then you're taken from there and put somewhere else, and you had to do it again and again and again. So that's what they're saying, like it was a cycle that you were in. Particularly, and again, a lot of this stuff began with COVID. COVID kicked off a lot of this stuff. So if from 2020 or around there, that could be, 2016 or whatever, around there till now, if you've been put in a lot of different environments where you had to keep crossing paths with these wannabe alpha overcompensating people and you see through them and you, not intentionally, but you expose them via just knowing what you know and saying what you say, that was a intentional loop that you were in, because it was part of your path. You had to break these people's ego. So this has happened repeatedly, they're saying, and like each time there's some aspect of, not only do they feel exposed because no one has ever read them like you, they were also romantically interested in you, though they probably did not show that because they're too, I'm alpha, blah, blah, blah. And so it hit them like twice as hard. And again, none of this is your fault. This was all your role. But what's interesting, trigger warning, the bow they tied it up in for me was to show me this is why kind of, oh, people are going to be mad. But this is why MAGA happened. These are people that were always this way. And then they found community, right? They felt supported getting into this group. And this all had to happen to get all of these kinds of people in one group so we can see them. Does that make sense? And now things are moving that are going to expose, like, oh, you, A, were wrong about a certain person, and B, as this all falls apart, they're going to have to face themselves. And some of them are already doing that. If you pay attention, some of the quote-unquote influencers are trying to, or scurrying to try to excuse their behavior or explain it away that, oh, now this person's crazy. Wasn't before, but, you know, you see that happening now. It's all going to be exposed, and it's going to make these people have to face themselves. And this is how the people who are not on the healing journey yet, how they will begin their ego death. Most of us on the healing journey have already had some shit hit our ego, right? That's why we don't have as much. So this is what's going to start their ego death and get them on their healing journey. Very Mr. Miyagi. Okay, kind of a new storyline they're playing out, but kind of not. Again, it's a new situation, but like it's still, you have exposed somebody unintentionally just by being an empath, being sensitive to energy, whatever. There's something about somebody, again, like they have no sense of boundaries. Maybe they harassed you, but there's something about you sort of documenting it. So if somebody was harassing you or, like I said, stalking you or just crossing boundaries, showing up at your house or something, like you documented it. And it doesn't feel like a stalker in the traditional sense where it's like, oh, you have a stalker, like they're hiding in your bushes, but it is that energy of like they're overbearing. This could be like an overbearing ex. Again, somebody that just thinks they're very alpha and so they can show up at your house or they can cross all your boundaries, but there's something about you have documentation of it. Heavy on like they don't respect your boundaries. And they have sort of erratic, obsessive behavior. So particularly if this plays into what we were talking about, where like you've exposed somebody who's always kind of put on a facade, that would trigger them to become this erratic, obsessive, show up at your house, show up at your job kind of person, right? Okay. Trigger warning. So what they're advising is do not respond if this person reaches out. And actually block them, but document it. But they say that you've been documenting everything, so it's good. Do not respond and let the person continue to reach out because, again, that creates a record. And you're going to need all this documentation. Who is going through this? This is sad. This person may already kind of have a record of some sort, like, or at least like anybody that would investigate this, they've already heard of this person. They've maybe bothered other people. Because this type of behavior, this isn't something you just do overnight. This is something you progress to. So they probably bothered other people before. For someone, this person may be or may have been involved in like illegal sales. We'll say that. Just a side note. But whatever problems they had before, and then your documentation helps really accelerate legal actions. It seems they keep showing me like you've got screenshots, you've got video, you've got dates, times, like you kept a record. Ugh. Why is everybody's energy gotta be crappy today? Not you guys, it's the people we've had to interact with. They feel awful. It's like an energy vampire. They're very like parasitic. Do not answer, but keep a record if they reach out. Work consistently on your energy. Somebody like this is sending you bad energy. It's super important to like detox, practice your energetic hygiene, carry a crystal if you've got them, sage if you've got it. At a minimum, go around, open your windows, make noises, clap, get the energy out. Gosh, maybe I'm gonna have to do discount energy clearings. Shoot, but make sure you're doing it, because this person is literally trying to feed off of your energy. They're in a weird state. They've got like a distorted, how can I explain this? Somebody who's been living a facade and like overinflated their own ego. When you break that up, they literally like, they don't want to have to face the truth. They don't want to have to bring down the mask. So they're in like a kind of spiritual psychosis. They may be messing with, I don't like this, gosh. If this is for you, reach out. You need help. You're not in danger. I don't feel like you're in danger, but this person's not in their right state of mind. Stay clear of them, document everything, and focus on your healing rather than trying to deal with this person who is very, very unbalanced. There is no reasoning with them. Just block them and reach out to me.